now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Buddy Lebold, Apple Creek, Ohio, May 11th, 2015. At your home, here on
191 East Main Street.
191 East Main Street. All right, first question. What are your earliest memories of life in East Union Township?
Growing up. Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, football, basketball, going to school, not liking it. That's all I can remember.
Here in Apple Creek?
Up here at the elementary school, yeah.
All right, where did you live when you were a boy?
2 doors west on Main Street here.
What do you remember about your childhood?
Oh, we used to play ball, mow yard, whatever needed to be done, we did. We had birthday parties.
What games did you play?
Oh, button, who's got the button? Red rover. All the good old games.
What chores were you assigned?
With
Chores. What chores did
Tools.
your parents give you?
oh, hand lawn mowers and anything need to. Anything Dad wanted and he couldn't find, we had it.
Yeah, it's good to keep you busy. How did your mother prepare your meals?
Oh, we had dandelions, rolled dandelions, salmon soup, fried eggs, mush, date pudding. Never went hungry.
What type of food did you eat that might be different from today?
Not much. Still stay the old diet.
Yeah, my daughter eats the dandelions now. you
Do
know.
they?
Mhm.
Some people don't know what they are. Rolled dandelions, the
Yeah.
vinegar and the bacon and yep.
Yeah. How was food stored before refrigerators?
There's always been a refrigerator in my house. I don't know. Probably canned it. You
Yeah.
couldn't smoked it
No.
and dried it.
My husband says he remembers ice block being delivered in Marengo.
Well, Lawrence, Harry Hyman had the ice shack here in Apple Creek above the Wood Nickel. And he had ice and he had a milk route. He'd haul milk into Worcester, Ideal Dairy and Farm Dairy in there. But we never bought it. We always had refrigerator.
How did your mother or your grandmother do laundry?
Maytag rear washing machine.
Yeah,
Had a mango back those days. I don't know.
yeah, my mother had one of those. You had to be careful of your fingers.
Well, it come down and rolled around or whatever.
How did your family or your grandparents' family heat their houses in the winter?
Coal furnace. Yep. Used to have a coal cellar under the front porch. And they'd bring the coal from Studer Brothers down up the railroad tracks. Vol Carson and Vol and a couple guys. They'd bring coal in the boxcar, elevate it out, and take it around, deliver it to houses. But we used coal.
Yeah, my husband too. What were your parents' occupations?
Mom was a beautician. She had a beauty shop here in Apple Creek, and Dad had the garage down here. Started in '22, and then he built another one, and then he sold in '76 to BP. Had a blacksmith shop behind the garage down there. Had to forge and heat the shoes up and do metalwork there.
Probably A lot more horses, maybe.
Yeah,
nowadays.
there was horses back then.
And more, were there Amish customers? A lot of
Oh,
Amish
yeah, there was
customers?
Amish in town.
I mean, the customers for the blacksmith.
Yeah, well, people in Albuquerque had horses too.
Were your grandparents from East Union Township?
Were they from East Union Township? No, Grandpa Lebold was from down Bolivar, Zora way. And Mom was Worcester, Snyder side.
And your grandmother?
I'm not sure where Grandma was from. She's always with Grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
They live down where Mabel Wade lives now.
Oh,
When they moved from Worcester, they bought that house where Mabel's at.
well, what were their occupations, says?
And Grandpa Lebold was first security officer at the ORDC. Had a signed thing from the governor back then. He was the first security up there, and then he moved on to the farm manager.
Oh,
And
nice.
of course, they lived there in the big brick house in Madison Hill.
Oh, did
And
they?
Grandma had boarders, or the guys that worked there at the farm. And the kitchen table in the kitchen is from Grandma and Grandpa's.
Oh, is it? And it says, what other stories did they pass on to you? Your grandparents, any stories?
Just be truthful and do what it takes.
Yeah. What were your memories of grade school?
No, we used to, summertime, they'd take the third grade class, we went to Orville on the train, Orville Park, picnic over there. Bible school, we used to take the train over to Orr Park too with the train. Playing baseball, doing what kids do.
How did you get to school?
Walked.
What are your memories of high school?
Oh, sophomore class served the junior senior prom. Then when you moved up to the juniors, why, they served you, you know, and you just stepped up that way. Played football. We were the first team out at Wayndale.
Yeah.
We put on plays, musicals. Frank Session was the music teacher. Irie Ahmed, or not Irie. Frank Sessions was the director. Harold Henderson was superintendent then, out of John Arlay.
Well, you mentioned the train. Where did it stop? Where was the depot?
Right in the center of about where the Dollar General's at now. You can see it on the pictures.
And is that the same one that Doc Reber, the old thing, depot thingy owns?
Yeah,
back
that's the
there?
freight office.
Oh, freight office. Oh, okay.
The depot's set next to the BP station down here. The village had a pole building there. They moved the depot down there, so it's down there.
Oh, okay.
It had the wainscoting in like the old buildings had.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, it's back to your teachers. What was your favorite teacher?
I don't think any of them.
Least favorite teacher?
Huh?
Least favorite teacher?
Least favorite, well, they all had a job to do.
Yeah.
You get to go to the office too. You spend a lot of time in the office with
Henderson.
third period out at Southeast Local or Wayndale. Yeah.
Do any school pranks come to mind?
No. Maybe we had a couple. Used to like to pull Pop Brenneman's suspenders when we'd get our milk at noontime. Oh, other than that, if we do what we did back then, you'd be in jail, or mom and dad would be up for child abuse or whatever, but
Yeah.
didn't hurt.
Were you involved in any after-school activities? You mentioned football, didn't you?
Football was about it. Yep.
What was dating like when you were in school?
Oh, they had square dances every other Saturday night. Be up here at the Apple Creek, the old Presbyterian church. That's where the module's set now. The Legion had that. You get the square dance and the shot issues and poking up in the floor, you'd feel the shake. And then next Saturday night, it'd be at Mount Eaton.
Oh,
And you go to Fredericksburg
yeah.
and you start all over again.
Yeah, my husband did that same thing.
Yeah?
He's a good square dancer. I bet you're good.
It's been a while. Like riding a bicycle, though. I think once you've done it, come back.
Did your family have special holiday traditions?
Well, Easter, we had little chicks show up. We had Easter chickens or chicks.
To raise?
Huh?
To raise them?
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Like for, anything special for Christmas or different or?
No, we always had turkey and good times. Suet pudding was a good dish.
4th of July here in Apple Creek?
4th of July, we were always in Worcester. 4th of July, it was always in Schneider side at the Freelander Park.
Oh.
Watermelon, walk from the park up to the college for the football game, or the fireworks in the evening.
Did you receive any special holiday presents?
Oh, everything was a present back then,
Yeah.
not like kids today. Oh, that's on tape, I bet shut up.
Did you do anything special for Halloween?
Oh, we used to do a little Halloweening. Of course, the marshal was, his daughter would go with us, you know, so we didn't have to worry too much about getting in trouble. Possum Franks. You knew Shirley. Bruce Shirley, yeah, yeah. We didn't have to worry too much. Sammy Smedley was for Possum. Yep.
Their last names were Shirley, right? Is that what you said? Their last names were Shirley?
It was Shirley Franks was
Oh, Franks was
she
the last
married
name.
Bruce Bookmeyer.
Okay,
Katie had the restaurant here in town.
all right.
She'd bring people in from Massillon and Canton and Cleveland for their fruit salads and her vegetable salads. And her hams was always good because Bruce and I, Saturday we were down to Navarre, pick up the ham. They would be smoked, you know. And she had a good restaurant there. And then after church or Sunday school, we would always stop Bruce and be at the restaurant. We'd have a ham sandwich. He'd cut your piece of ham and put it on there, the slab of onion in there. And then we had to move out because the guest was coming in.
And that was on Main Street here?
That's where PJ's, wasn't it? The restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
That used to be a Legion Hall at one time.
Did your family have horses?
No.
'Cause you were in-
Well, they might. I don't know. We never had any.
What's your first automobile you remember?
Probably Dad's 37 Pontiac.
Not a truck?
Not a truck. I got pictures of him there. Has RL48 on it, and that's his license plate on it when he stopped driving. He said, if I can't get it in the garage, with a two-car garage door, time to stop. So I said, you want to go someplace, let me know, we'll go. They gave me 18 years, so.
How did your family travel when you were a child?
Automobile. Mostly Pontiacs. I don't think they ever owned anything else but Pontiacs.
How far from home did you go? Did you take
Oh, we
long
went
trips?
west when I was 12. We'd go to Cleveland, the zoo. Sunday afternoon trips, there was always a picnic basket packed, and you didn't know where you were going to end up, but
Well, that's
you
nice.
were out. Yep.
All right, what were your memories of the railroad that went through Apple Creek?
Well, they used to have white elephant sales, the fire department, in the railroad lot where the PJs is at and the drive-through. Go out and gather up fire machinery that people didn't want or anything they had to sell. They donate it to the fire department, and then they'd sell, had wooden benches at that time. Saturday night they had movies downtown. And the railroad tracks was right there. Screen was set up with a sheet like. It waved back and forth, and then the train come through, you couldn't hear anything for the, but
Yes, that seemed to be a common memory.
they used to have a post there that they didn't stop. They could grab the meal bag or whatever they needed to grab without stopping. But Jack Davis's dad was the post, or the freight guy up there. I can't spit his first name out now, but it was Jack Davis's dad. Yep.
Okay, well, it asks here, when did you get electricity? Well, you seem to always
Yeah,
have
it was
it.
always electricity, yeah. As long as you paid the bill.
What was your first appliance?
Well, we always had a refrigerator and stove and washing machine.
When did you get a telephone?
Well, I'm not sure what day it was, but it used to be on the kitchen wall. And Nita Johnson was the operator up by the bank. The plug goes, you wind it out. I think that plaque there on the table's got 100 on it, doesn't it, for Apple Creek Garage? But that was the way they talked then, back in those days, if you want to get a conversation going.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely as a child in my town. What was your ring? Your ring.
I don't remember what the home, I think that one was 100 for the garage.
So then you probably always had indoor running water. and,
Yeah. Depression, I was lucky I didn't.
Yes.
I remember they had the tokens and that, but don't remember much about that.
Do you know any stories about the coal mines, oil wells, or mills that were in East Union Township?
No,
There were no coal mines around here.
no.
No, in Mountain.
Studer Brothers Mill, they moved in from out on the 250.
But it talked about the mill. What about that mill? Wasn't that?
Studer Brothers,
Oh, yeah, okay.
what was it? Silver leaf flour or something. They used to,
Do it.
Mark Bowman would take flour from here down to Chicago, or Cincinnati. And where that office equipment building, that's where they had the storehouse, stored dry stuff.
Well, it asks here, if your family didn't farm, so it asks how is farming different from, in that time from today? Thrashing or
I knew,
any of your
It was
buddy
always,
friends?
huh?
Friends that boyfriends you grew up with?
Ned Ash, Dewey lived out on the farm on Carr Road,
Yeah.
out for the hill where the pond is. Ned was they lived out there in the farm. City boys would go out and we'd
Have-
ride horses and play cops and robbers, the BB gun up in the barn, that'd be Buckshot Smith and
Oh, yeah.
Larry Miller and Neil Thompson and myself, and one of them would shoot somebody's eye out.
Or play with the hay bales?
Huh? Oh, yeah, and name out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any special memories about airplanes or dirigibles in our area as a child or during World War II?
Well, the only airplanes was up on 585 was where the Worcester Airport used to be, where Earl Hawkins had his fruit wagon,
Oh, yeah.
and we'd go up there on Sunday afternoons and watch planes come in and out. Little Piper Cubs, there was nothing big, but
So, as a child, you would have memories of World War II or how it affected you? World War II.
memories of what?
Of World War II. World War II, of how it
No.
affected your family or, no. Do you have any relatives that were in the Revolutionary War
I don't
or,
think so.
or the Civil War
Nope.
or World War One?
No.
Okay.
What was life like for you in East Union Township during, well, I already asked you that, World War II. What did you and your family do to have fun growing up as an adult? Oh, what did you and your family do to have fun growing up and as an adult? Well, you already sort of mentioned that. You took Saturday,
We
Sunday afternoon
traveled,
trips
yeah.
and,
Played croquet in the backyard.
yeah. All right. What was your longest vacation trip?
Oh, I don't know. As long as it took to go to California and back. Back then you didn't do 200 miles in a day.
So you stayed in motels or?
Oh yeah, we went to Grand Canyon on, Dad and my birthday was on the same day, June 9th. We were at the Grand Canyon, the moonlight night, full moon, and Mom wanted to see the Grand Canyon with the full moon.
Oh, nice.
So we'd been out in the state parks, and these places always had those little pine along the road. Back a little too close to one of those, and Dad wasn't too happy about that. But other than that, yeah.
Do you remember any stories in the newspaper or news events around here about bank robberies or train wrecks or?
And the only train wreck I can remember is out at Jim Orr, Clayton Orr's, the railroad tracks used to go right where John's got his house now, and Jim was down here. There was a train flipped over there, but that had to be back in what, 50, 54, 56. But other than that, there wasn't any train wrecks that I know of, other than that one.
There weren't any cows on the railroad track or?
No, there wasn't any cars. The railroad tracks used to go up to the institution.
Oh, they did.
That spur went off of, or Hackett goes one way and Melbourne goes the other way. Take off across, there was 3 barns up there that the state had. And they'd take the coal up there with the early years. Take supplies in and out with that tracks.
Do you have any stories about Doc Mayer? Doc Mayer.
He was a doctor.
Did you go to him?
No. We always went to Worcester, but Doc got his wife Christmas time. I worked over at Howe Oldsmobile in 57, and he bought his wife a pink 98 Oldsmobile, set up there inside the church in their house, you know. Mabel. Martha was their housekeeper. They had what? Daughter and Nevin and daughter and a son, I think, but they're children. But we had a fella getting a corn picker. Oh, that was back when Iman still had the farm out here where Spring Run is and all those things. He got his, I think it was his leg caught in that snapper roll or something. And Doc was getting up there in years. And he sent in town to get Doc Mayer. So Martha was the helper, or his housewife, or took care of the house. And she got his bag packed for him, made him put his boots on. And it was dark, I don't know, it was probably 8, 9 o'clock. But he needed something, Doc was always there. I think about time to wrap this up.
No. You haven't even talked about the fire department.
Oh, we aren't going to that.
Do you have any stories about Jeff Carson or his drugstore?
Yeah, Jeff always drove a Lincoln. You know, where they lived there on Main Street, you'd go up and the garage was under the house, Dad worked on his car. And it was a challenge to get that Lincoln in the garage down there. Then later years, he got a Thunderbird. And you see that Thunderbird sitting out in front of the drugstore? Well, that was Jeff.
Huh? Do you have any stories about a favorite pastor?
We all had a job to do.
All right. Any stories of interest about weddings or funerals or a Reverend Barr? You remember a Reverend Barr? No.
No, I don't remember very much.
Do you remember Cloy Orr's Hardware?
That Cloyce-Orr, I think. I always knew it as Cloyce and Hazel Orr, where the pizza shop just burned out from.
Oh, yes. How about Ike West Hardware? Remember that one?
I don't remember that either.
Lee Messner's Hardware?
Don't remember that.
George Biddle's Grocery?
Is it Biddle or Beidle?
Vital.
Vital.
Beidle. That was Charlie and Helen, I think. They lived 4 houses up here. I got,
Ed Schultz Blacksmith. Now that came in after your
that
dad.
Ed Schultz blacksmith. It was Sherrard. And the other blacksmith lived up across in the Reformed Church with Jersey Graber and lived over there with that. Jordan's lived there last. You go up Cemetery Street.
Cliff Maurer Dry Goods.
I don't remember that either.
John Zag Funeral Parlor.
And that's the other one. It was always McIntyre started that.
Okay. How about Studer Brother Mills?
Can you talk about
Stuart
that?
Brother Mill, they were, Bud and Evelyn lived next door to us here.
And the barbershop, Piney Wilhelm's Barbershop.
And that sat on below the elevator. I got a picture of that. I gave the barber a picture of that.
Well, tell us any stories you know about the early AC/DC.
We don't have enough time to start that. We don't have enough time to start that. Started back in '33, I think. Started at the administration building, a male dorm and a female dorm. Later on, got named A and B, B and C, or anyhow. But they had separate dining rooms there. And it just kept growing. 2,200 acres.
Yeah, sure did.
Put 31 and a half years in up there. Seen a lot of changes.
What did you do when you worked up there?
Equipment operator and an auto mechanic. Did 45 vehicles up there. Farm machinery, dozers, balers, manure spreaders, buses, station wagons. Whatever they needed, we had.
What's the name of the reporter that worked there?
Lyman Tucker.
Do you know Lyman?
Lyman and Rosie, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They, Mom and Dad owned a lot where they bought. Yeah, where Harold Fry lives now. Lyman and Rosie, they were the institution.
But Lyman was in the maintenance building, right?
He was the chief engineer, yeah.
Oh,
He used to generate their electricity 9 months out of the year, and then in the summer month, they'd shut steam down and go over the turbines, so they'd be ready to fire up to the winter. Generated their own steam for heating the buildings. Kitchen always cooked, they had these big kettles up there, steaming, make oatmeal and I don't know what all, anything you need
They
to.
made a lot of stuff up
Yeah.
there because Mom worked as a cook.
Well,
Yeah.
they'd fix it there at the general kitchen and then they'd deliver it with a box truck and a stainless steel.
Carts.
Carts. You'd take 7 of them over to the main hospital building. And that's when they had the cribs there in the wards. All they could do was just feed them and diaper them and oxygen and take care of them. I mean, some of them had to feed them and all that. It'd be 200 on a ward.
They were big wards.
Huh?
They were big wards, because I saw those.
Well, what happened in 1947? Because the graves there by the historical building on Church Street, you see all these graves, 47, died 47, died 47, died 47.
I think that's when they established that cemetery.
State cemetery.
Oh,
It was,
okay.
I dug graves to do for the cemetery.
Okay.
We lose a patient.
Okay.
Now, were they, all of them always buried there on the
No.
grounds? I was
The
thinking
family.
families took them
I
elsewhere.
think. And the other corner of the cemetery, to the back where you go down around,
Mm-hmm,
that's got a plot where they buried too.
okay.
They got, oh, I don't know, 15, 25 names on
That plaque, yeah.
that would be in the left when you go in around there.
Do you have any memories of big snows, very cold weather, periods of drought?
Oh, yeah, we, snow and school bus got stuck out on Kansas Road. We went out and scooped shovels and moved the snow around to get the bus out, you know. And we had that 76 storm, we was up there for 33 hours before I got home. Because those people, they needed electricity, they needed food, and you had to keep the road open from Route 30 in and 250 up.
Yeah.
Keep the farm drives open so they get in to feed the cattle. They had 7 or 8 bulls up there too. They had their own building for the bulls. It snowed, I got pictures of it, but
Do you have any stories about gypsies?
no.
No.
Used to be some hobos, but not too many. Not too many.
Yeah, that's what they called them when I was growing up, hobos.
Hobos? At Tent City.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Did you ever hear any stories about the KKK?
no.
Okay, why did you decide to become a fireman and a mechanic? Why?
Well, I don't know. I guess Dad was always a fireman. They started in 41 with the hose cart and the bell. And then in June 41, they got the 41 Seagraves pumper. And back then, you didn't have all the schooling and degrees, and EPA wasn't in on it.
Right.
If they had a fire, they had fire phones sitting around like at the hardware, and Maddox had one, Paul Miller had one, Day Harris had one, about 6 of them. If you were your weekend to watch a fire phone, you didn't go anywhere, you stayed home and listened to the phone. And if you did get a call, they had a box up there with a wooden nickel on the post. You would go push the button, that alerted you you had something. So you went and got the truck out of the city hall there and drove up to where the siren told you where to go. If you didn't have your key to get in the firehouse or get the truck out, well, the window was easy to break. You
Oh,
put your foot through it and open the door and go on in. And if you didn't get the first truck when the water go around the bend, well, they went to the right or they went to the left. The water would come out in the road. In the wintertime, it's kind of tricky because black ice, you know,
Oh, no.
turn around and go the other way.
yeah.
But those were the good old days, yeah. And it growed over the years.
And now, the station was where the police station
Yeah,
is.
it was in 41 when they built that. So I think town must have started about then, didn't it? Or where they had City Hall before 41?
They had it somewhere else.
Yeah, but
But the town started back in about the 1880s, 1870s, when the two towns joined.
it was that down at the lower end there.
Yeah. Because you had
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh first, and then you had Apple Creek Station, and then they grew together, and they became incorporated together.
So that, in 41 when they must have came together.
No, 1940, they'd been together before that,
Oh, right.
but that's probably when they decided to build that building as such.
And,
How many years were you on the fire department?
Dad was on 47 years,
And you?
55, so time to get the youngsters have it.
Hmm.
Too much computerized. And
A lot more paperwork probably too.
yeah, they want to know this and they want to know that. And with the Privacy Act, you wonder,
Oh, yeah.
why can you
Yeah,
demand all that?
yes.
I'm not going to get into it. Yeah,
So, were you ever involved in politics here in town on
you'll watch
council or
smart enough to
anything?
stay out of that.
Oh,
I was
Okay.
the president of the fire department for 1
Okay.
year.
For 1 year?
For 1 year, yeah.
How did you,
We always elect officers every year, though. Vice president moves up.
were you involved with the Johnny Appleseed Festival?
No,
Were you in the
just always
parade?
go, just always go to participate.
Okay.
Being on any committees or that,
Nope.
haven't got the patience for that, I guess.
Politics.
Well, yeah, that,
and how many children did you have?
we were married in 61 and we had 3 daughters,
Okay, can you explain who you married and when?
Kathleen and Fisher.
She
When?
was from local.
November, yeah.
When did you get married?
November.
I think it's 26th November.
Yeah.
And the names of your children?
Oh, Sherry come down in 62, I think. 67, 62. Yeah, I don't know. Good
Okay.
kids.
You had Sherry and who are the other two?
Sonia and Amy.
Okay.
Sonia and Amy.
And how many grandchildren?
We got 7.
So you said.
One of them's married and 2 of them's out of college and 3 of them still in school, 13 and 12.
And you say when you all gather here, it's what, 24 of
We
them?
had 24 for a year ago Christmas. But, that was the boys like to help get turkey going.
Yes.
Oh, I bet they do.
We start cooking the day before.
Yeah, I hear they're gonna have trouble getting turkey this year because of that.
Infection.
Infection.
We used to take the kids coon hunting too.
Oh,
That,
did you?
that kind of took the edge off life with Myron Swinehart. He'd take his Rena and Adam and Leanna and Trent and Stu, and we'd load on the old Ford and put about 3 coon dogs in the trunk and kerosene
Okay, who
cannons.
had the dogs?
Huh?
Who had the dogs?
Myron had the dogs.
Oh, okay.
Myron, he's always a blue tick man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd go out in the woods at night then?
Yeah, oh yeah, and coon hunting, that's when you do it at night.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got coonskin caps for all the grandsons,
Did you?
and the 2 granddaughters sitting there on the couch, and they quiet. Said, there you go, cap. So they got caps next year for Christmas.
Oh,
Oh, they were left out, in other words.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrapped this thing up.
Can we take some pictures in your fireman's room?
oh, and he wanted, what about the furniture piece?
Harvey Center, Billy Grigger built that cherry corner cupboard there in the corner.
Okay, let me swing around there. Just see what I can do to get it in view. I may have to move the, I'm gonna,
Yeah. Sitting
You know, he got a
in,
porch swing over home. But I don't even notice the trucks going by. I mean,
right, so we
you get used to it.
yeah.
Okay, explain who made the cabinet again.
Billy Grigger. He done woodworking back in the early years, and his shop was up where Herbie Amstutz lives now.
Okay, it's pretty.
what year would that be? What year would that be?
Oh, it had to be back. Has anybody ever seen about Elsie Bevington having the thrash machine down there?
No, you wanna explain that?
Dan Geyser's daughter, what's her last name? He had a Always had a barn down there, a thrash machine and an old car in.
Okay, explain who this is
Elsie
again.
Bevington, I think was
Okay.
his name. Yep,
Now, did he go out and thrash for people on the farms?
I would imagine, because why else have a thrash machine in town? I was young,
Mm-hmm.
but
That you remember being
yeah, I
here?
remember about that.
Okay. So,
There used to be a hotel down there across the street from him, and where Dale James's used car lot is.
what kind of hotel? A small one, a big one?
For people traveling on 250.
Okay.
There's always a gas station down there in the corner that cars wouldn't make it around the corner and knock that front canopy off of it.
Okay.
And they always lost a couple coal trucks going around the bend there at the bay.
Who was the lady that lived down there and got her coal supply every year because they dumped the trucks?
Oh, really?
Do you remember? I remember it was an older
Husband
lady.
and wife,
Yeah, it was an older couple.
Yeah,
And every year a truck would dump coal and they'd fill their chute.
yeah,
I remember that as a kid.
yeah.
Do you remember what their names were? Because I've never remembered the name of that
I knew
couple.
that they'd probably come to me in the middle of the day, but
Yeah, but if you ever think of it, let me know, because I've been trying to figure out how to research that. Because I remember as a kid, it seemed like every winter, one semi with coal on would dump right in their front yard.
ask Shirley Bookmeyer.
Okay,
Her mom and dad lived 2 doors below them.
okay,
Her Lester,
okay,
they lived a door on beyond.
on that, okay.
Yeah,
But I do remember that happening. And we always, as kids, we used to intrigue
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Didn't wipe the house out, but they dumped the coal, and then they would go out and fill their chute.
The reward.
Words, yeah, and I don't think they bought coal for years, did they?
nah. Used to, the beer truck rolled over down there one Sunday afternoon about 4 summertime. We had to unload the Budweiser. Set a pack of them.
But there were some things like that that happened that were interesting.
Fire department. And this is the plaque we had, the plate we had done up for their 50th anniversary.
Goodness. Sure want to do that.
And you can't get that, can you?
Yeah, I did. I got, yeah,
Put that blind up or down.
yeah. It's about as best as I can to get the whole thing in.
And you put the blood type.
Yeah. And this, I done this one for myself. I thought, well, I got the date I started and the fireman's prayer and the Maltese cross.
Really not.
Anyhow, yeah, it gets in your blood.
Here's.
Do you want to
show
hold
this.
that? In,
Here's
I
his
don't
dad.
think you get-
Can stay.
okay. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more on there.
No.
Okay.
And then this is his.
Now I need to zoom the other way. It's bigger.
I went through all the record down there at the firehouse. Put them in sleeves. With the help of 3 young guys.
Oh, did you?
They didn't know what they were doing, but
They helped you.
they wouldn't have got done if it wouldn't have been for the boys. That wouldn't be done.
Okay.
Like this is,
Oh, yes.
the Lord is my
Lord is my
shepherd.
shepherd.
You got the pike pole there.
Oh, yeah.
And this one is, fear not, for I'm with thee.
Yes.
And this is the fellow saving the little kid out of the window. Christ is the ultimate
yeah.
savior. And that's my crew.
And then there's.
Yeah.
What is this?
And that's the quilt case. Mother-in-law done that for Kathy and I.
Mildred,
The quilt, yeah.
it's pretty. She did quite a few quilts around town.
Yeah.
Miss her because I used to go up and visit her, and occasionally she'd make me go and sit by the quilt and quilt while we visited.
And that's one of your.
That was that was Paul Miller's car. We had a 59 Pontiac station wagon, but we went to the auction and my better half thought we had to have it, I guess. So.
So you bought
Yeah.
then
She
at
bought
Paul
it.
Miller's
That Paul-
auction.
And that car is sitting in Tiffin today. It is sitting on a heated garage floor,
Okay.
Really?
air conditioned,
To preserve it.
safety, fire alarms all around it with 7 or 8 other. And he left, that's original chrome on it. But I stopped up at Tiffin. He was a retired fireman.
Okay.
And he had expensive toys.
Sounded like
He's
it.
a-
Yeah.
He was a paid guy. He was a paid guy. Yeah, that was a,
These are hoses.
I'm sure I can get those down there as well.
and that's my clocks up there and the kids.